Story Detectives, and welcome to the final video for There's a Snake in My School. This is video 4. Okay, so our word of the week was mischievous, and that's full, it's an adjective, it means full of mischief. And mischief is annoying or irritating behaviour. So a synonym, something that means the same kind of thing, is impish. And an antonym would be the phrase well-behaved. Now, see what you think of my sentence that I've just written here. The mischievous monkey stole my money, she yelled. Did you see what I did there? I've got the letter M repeated several times in that sentence. Mischievous monkey, my money. So that is an alliterative sentence. And also, I haven't used the word said, have I? I've put yelled. So we really get a better idea in this sentence that somebody is incredibly annoyed if they've yelled. And you would be if a mischievous monkey stole your money. So I'm looking forward to seeing your sentences there. But do try, when we've learnt one of these new things like alliteration or synonyms for said, or contractions or some of the things that we've learnt, it'd be great to see you start using them in your creative writing. Okay, so let's have a look at our alliteration. That was the explanation. So which of these sentences had any alliteration? Well, the enormous slithery snake slipped silently down the slide. That's definitely very alliterative. Now, another thing to mention is, although the word enormous doesn't start with an S, that S at the end of enormous also helps that sentence sound alliterative. So sometimes it's actually, it can even be a little bit at the end of the word that repeats that sound again. And certainly with a word like enormous, there's definitely a sort of an emphasis on that sound at the end of the word. So it does help with that alliteration. Although I absolutely love this story because the idea of a goldfish trying to hide behind some water is hilarious. There isn't any alliteration in that sentence. They've all got different letters to start with. Well, tried to, but that's not quite the same. And the is a sort of different sound for the T. Meet Penelope, my pet python. Now that's definitely got some alliteration in. We've got the meet and the my, but also the Penelope pet python. So that's definitely an alliterative sentence. And there was a big bulge in her belly, the shape of Miss Bloat. I would also say that one has alliteration because of all the repetition of the letter B. And then this one, she dragged poor Penelope the python down the hall and plonked her in the bin. Again, I think there's quite a bit of alliteration going on there. We've got poor Penelope the python and plonked. So I would definitely circle those. And then this last one here, Miss Bloat, the headmistress, thundered into the playground. No, there's no alliteration there. We've got that wonderful word thundered, which is a great word to use, but it doesn't have any alliteration. Okay, so let's see how you got on with this picture and word puzzle. So we had pretty pig, bouncy balloon, which way am I going? Pretty pig, quiet queen. That's right, I thought for a moment that was a princess, but it's a queen. Quiet queen, jiggly jelly, Freddy frog, and bouncy balloon. So I hope you got those correct. And then this was our synonyms for the word said. Now what I've written here, you may have slightly different answers, and that's fine as long as they make sense within the context of the sentence. I put, come and give her a tickle, encouraged Miranda, because encouraged is a word that you don't hear very often instead of the word said. But if you're encouraging someone, you're trying to get them to do something. So she wants everybody to come and give the snake a little tickle. So she's encouraging them. There's a snake in my school, she bellowed. Oh, I forgot my full stop there. In fact, I'm going to change that into an exclamation mark. So yes, she bellowed. That means she yelled very loudly. It's bring your pet to school day, spluttered Mr. Bright. Miranda, I should have known you would be different. A snake is not a pet, it's a menace, snapped Miss Bloat. This disgusting thing is coming with me, screamed the headmistress. The children shouted, hooray! So I hope you've got something along those lines. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but as long as it makes sense in the context of the sentence. And now our quiz, let's have a look. Well, python, as I'm sure you know, is a reptile. It has a couple of things in common with a duck-billed platypus, but that's because a duck-billed platypus is a very unusual kind of mammal. And it has some things in common with amphibians, which include frogs and toads, but it is definitely a reptile. How do they kill their prey? Well, unlike our duck-billed platypuses from last week, they're not actually venomous. A lot of snakes are, but pythons aren't. They catch their prey by, it's not technically crushing them, they actually constrict them. So they stop them from moving and then they swallow them whole. Bit gruesome that, but there you go. What do they like to eat? Well, they're carnivores, so they eat lots of small things like rats, mice, birds, frogs, and even some of them eat animals as big as deer. Can you imagine? In the wild, you usually find them in Africa, Asia, and Australia. But their habitats are very varied. They like rainforest, grasslands, swamps, rocky areas. You can find them in lots of different habitats because there's lots of different species of pythons. So a lot of them are adapted to living in different kinds of weather conditions. How do they avoid their predators? Well, they can be very camouflaged. It can be hard to see them. They'll blend in with the background. Most of them are nocturnal. Oh, I didn't finish writing that, did I? I've got interrupted there. But some species are actually diurnal, and some seem to be a little bit come out at any time. So some of them come out during the day to sunbathe, but then they're a bit more active at night when they hunt. Do they lay eggs? Yes, in a way like the duck-billed platypus, they do lay eggs. Now, not all snakes do lay eggs. There are some that don't, but a python is one that does. So I'm looking forward to seeing your write and draw what would happen if you brought your animals to school. And also to see what you think here. I think being different can be an amazing thing. You don't all have to be the same in this world. People can have lots of differences. You can like different things. You can dress differently. There's nothing wrong with being different. Some people don't like to be different. I'm not that keen on looking different myself, personally. I like to sort of blend in, really, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be different. So I hope you agree with that, and that you think Miranda was a good character in the story, because I think she was, because she liked to be different. And then what if Miss Bloat escaped? Well, I don't know what we'd do, because Mr. Bright is the headmaster of the school now, and he seems like a jolly nice chap. So I don't think they should let Miss Bloat go back to her school. However, I think she might have had a point with some of those animals. I don't think it was the best idea to have a python roaming around a school. But on the whole, I didn't like her very much. So I think I don't really want to agree with her locking up the animals. Anyway, so I think I'll just have a quick look at the words section and see what we've got here. There's a lot of words in this one. We had quite a lot of diagonal. We had python, headmistress, mischievous, playground, all going diagonally. Oh, and pet. I hope you can see that. And then going horizontally, we had cartwheel, snake, and school. Vertically, cartwheel, snake, and school. And then horizontally, humongous and menace. I think, was that all of them? Okay, so, and then I'm looking forward to seeing your handwriting as well. I've noticed a lot of you are really, really improving with your handwriting. It's all just about practice. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, and it can be a bit boring to practice your handwriting, but it is important. So please do give those handwritings a go. And when you do them, by the way, it'd be nice to see not only that you copy the word, but try and repeat it a couple of times along the line if you can. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you next week for our next story, which also may contain some alliteration. Bye-bye.